Brother, please discharge me. Brother, by the way, I was younger than you in age, but I looked like a young man in the eyes of my family. We were siblings because we slept in the same bed. I had a lot of fun with my brother this time when my brother stopped my hand. But as soon as I asked my brother said, first, my own mouth. We were 4 sisters and 1 brother. Our brother was the youngest and my father's favorite. Ever since my father left this world, he had become very rude and self-centered. My mother used to explain to him again and again that he is young, but he has to grow up. You are the man of this house. Your duty is to run this house and make dowries for your sisters and get them married. Your sister is indeed older, but Allah has not blessed a woman's earnings, so you have to do all this. Anyway, he was not that young. He was 19 years old. We made him start a business many times, but he never sat in the shop, and if he sat in the shop, then how could the shop run? Similarly, no matter how many times we made him start a business by taking loans, he caused us a lot of loss. Sometimes he would say that I will start a clothing business, give me 1 lakh rupees. I would somehow take advance money from my salary and give him the money, but he would also sink the money. Now everyone knew that he was not trustworthy, so no one would give him a single rupee. Neither did anyone want to hire him. Now even my mother did not give him money. She knew that I earn money with great difficulty, and it is my hard work that she did not want to waste on it. Whenever I asked my mother for money, she would tell my mother that you should earn your own money. So we always got bad news from Karam, but now he had started doing something strange in the house, and I was the first to notice him because I was keeping an eye on everyone. Mir Abhay used to do something very strange. He would faint every afternoon. It was the months of June and July and the weather was very hot. In such a situation, his fainting every day was worrying us all. Today, the same thing happened again. Karam fainted. My mother called us out in a worried voice and said that Karam had fainted on the roof. They were taking him to the doctor. There was only one hospital in our neighborhood that was the closest to us. They always took him there. The doctor said that there was no problem. He had taken tension, so he was sick. Take care of him. Now we started to think that the poor guy was actually fainting due to tension because his health was not that good, but then I got to the bottom of it and was surprised to know that my younger brother who fainted every day was not a natural fainting. It was our family routine that when I returned home from school, after eating lunch until before Asr, we all slept for as long as we could. There was a lot of silence in our house. Then we would pray Asr, drink tea, and then do our evening chores. One day I thought that today I would find out why he always fainted on the roof. When Karam came home, when everyone was tired, he went straight to the roof. I also saw that in this heat, he was wearing a very warm jacket. He went to the roof and stood in a certain direction in the scorching sun. I was standing behind him. After standing for a while, Mir Asr also started to get hot and started moving around, so I came under the shade of a shade, but how that boy was standing there in such a hot sun was beyond understanding. The sun was so strong that in 15 minutes I could not understand how he was standing there. It was because of me. He started to feel dizzy and he fainted. After that, they called everyone and took him down from the roof and took him to the hospital. There was always only one doctor in the hospital who was still surprised to see him. Now I understood that this boy faints on purpose. What did he want? Maybe he didn't want to get sympathy from us. We should not tell him anything and think that he is a poor darling and let him rest at home. But it was not so simple because he was standing facing a specific direction and he had his arms spread out. At first I thought that maybe he was talking to some girl on the roof, but I remembered that he was just standing there, not talking to anyone, nor was anyone standing in front of him. And in the direction he was looking, there were houses of people in whose houses there was no girl, nor did anyone come to his surprise. I thought of a plan in my mind, and one day when everyone was eating, I said that I have seen a girl for Karam. Before Karam could say anything, all my sisters and mother came after me, saying that he doesn't do anything in the evening and why are you looking for girls for him? So I said that there are very spoiled people. When they get married, they are completely fine. We will get him married. If not marriage, we will get her engaged. She will do some work till marriage. As soon as her job is ready, we will get her married. My family members came to my conversation while Karam was sitting quietly eating, and I was constantly watching him and talking because I wanted to see what he was saying. I was surprised when he got up after eating, washed his hands and went out. He did not react at all. My family members talked to me later too, saying that you have really seen the girl. So I said no, I was joking. I wanted to see what he is doing. My mother said, do not bother him. He is already sick. This gave me another idea. I told my mother that if he is sick, then take him to someone to get him checked. It seems that someone has got the evil eye. My mother said, yes, you are absolutely right. There is such a case. I will take him to Mufti Sahib today. He will check it and he will be fine. Also, tell him, I would like to suggest something for him so that he can get a good job. I told my mother to take him today. It is Friday. Mufti Sahib will also be finishing his studies. My mother also agreed and talked about taking him to Mufti Sahib. But after hearing this, he got angry and said that I don't want to go to any Mufti Sahib. I don't want to get any amulets done, and don't even mention amulets, whereas since childhood we used to take him to Mufti Sahib. Till the age of 10, he had these big amulets around his neck. Why was it suddenly happening that I don't want to go? My mother had not paid much attention to this because she always explained it to him, but that Mufti Sahib was a trifle. Karam is a very moody child. He says something and sometimes nothing. But even then he had the same routine. One day he would faint. Now the whole family was worried. One day my younger sister asked him why he always faints on the toilet. He said that when my heart suddenly starts to panic, I go to the roof so that I can breathe freely. But I don't know when I faint. One day I decided what to do. I had kept a close eye on Karam's daily routine. He sat with everyone and ate his meal peacefully. I had added sleeping pills to his glass of water. After he ate his meal, he became so sleepy that he fell asleep in the house. I secretly went to his room and took out his clothes from the closet and closed the closet door. I also closed the door of the room carefully so that he wouldn't wake up and follow me again. I went to my room and got dressed. I had told my married sister about my plan so that she could take care of the matter. Karam used to wear a long jacket and put his hat on his head even in the hottest weather. I also did the same thing by wearing a hat on my head. I couldn't even tell whether I was Karam or someone else. I went to the hut and somehow my face turned in the direction in which Karam used to stand facing. When I stood facing that direction, I realized that he was actually standing facing the sun, and it was not easy to see the sun with open eyes in the heat. When I saw Karam, it had taken him 10 to 15 minutes to lose consciousness, but I had just come here and my head was already spinning. I had also included my brother-in-law and my married sister that day because only they could understand what I was saying. They picked me up and took me to the hospital. My face was still covered. They created a commotion and did not let me remove the cloth from my face. The doctor was not there today. He must have gone to pray. But the nurse who always treated Khurram ran towards me like a madman. She came to me and removed the cloth from my stomach and started asking. I asked her in a loud voice, "What are you doing?" She said, "I do this every day. Why are you so worried today?" I was shocked and worried. What is she doing on her last day? She also met with Khurram. Does she know what my brother was doing? This question surprised me even more. She said, "Where is she? Where is she? Why isn't she on your stomach today?" I was surprised what she was talking about. "Tell me, Khurram, where is that bandage? That bandage should have been on your stomach. Didn't you tie that bandage on your stomach yesterday? Where is that?" She was very worried. She was extremely worried, as if it was a question of her life and death. I was surprised. What bandage is she asking about? I didn't even feel the truth when I saw the mask on my face. I am not Khurram, but a woman because I was wearing Khurram's. Who are you? Where is Khurram? She got scared and asked me the same question. What bandage are you talking about? What black bandage are you doing? Why are you coming here with my brother every day? She said, "No, I will hand you over to the police." I took out my phone and put the police number on it and turned the screen to the nurse. "Tell me everything now. If not, I will call the police now." "You can call the police or anyone else. I can't do anything because the doctor will also support me," she had said with a lot of pressure. But when the doctor came into the room, her mood went down. Because this was not the doctor who was always on duty, today another doctor had come. I understood that much too. I immediately went towards the doctor and he held my hand. She said, "I will tell you all. Don't say anything to the doctor. This is the biggest doctor. If he finds out anything, he will fire me from my job." I have known Khurram for 2 months, since he has been unconscious. Before that, Khurram and I like each other very much, but my father says that the person I marry you should at least have a job and his own house, and you also know that Khurram has neither of these two things, so I even told him about a job in which both of us were going to benefit millions and we were going to marry him. What kind of work and who did this to you? Tell me the whole story or I will tell your big doctor everything. The girl looked very scared. She said, "Anyway, our lives are in danger now." "What are you talking about?" My heart was also scared that something might happen to my only brother. If something had happened to him, what would we have done? My mother would have died while she was still alive. The girl told me that her family has been in trouble for years and those who have 15 are behind, but he is very rich. A sage had told her that a ban had been imposed on her and she was told a procedure to break the ban, but she could not do it herself. He had promised to give her 3.5 lakh rupees to make the process successful. This was a dangerous practice because to do this practice, one has to risk one's life every day. In this practice, a young boy has to stand facing the sun and a black belt is tied around his waist. He has to stand until he loses consciousness. Within half an hour of his unconsciousness, the belt is removed from his waist and given to a woman who is unable to have children. The woman ties it around her stomach and by doing this for a month, she will become pregnant. That's why I was on duty at that time. We had arranged a time so that as soon as she was brought here, I would immediately remove the bandage and give it to the woman. And at the same time, I could give Karam some medicine or treatment so that she would recover soon. We have been doing this work for 15 days now. We still have more than half of our work left. These people had said that if we stop this work, we will suffer a great loss. If you don't let us do this work, then your brother's life is also in danger. I slapped this girl on the face and called her very rude. I told her that you must have put all this into my brother's mind. I returned home and sat all the adults down and told them the whole story. Karam was also there. Everyone cursed him and said that the one who performed the magic and the one who performed it is from hell and you wanted to ruin both this life and the hereafter. In the evening, my mother and I went to the house of both the husband and wife. First, they opened the door, so we had to lie that we live in your neighborhood and came to ask about someone. When we mentioned it, they were surprised and worried. When we mentioned it, they were surprised and worried. We said that we will tell the police about your behavior, so stay away from my brother in the future. If we still want, we can complain about you. We can complain about you to the mufti of the neighborhood, but we are not doing this because we are giving you a chance because you are worried, so you are studying in such actions. Giving children religious education is the will of Allah. Stay away from my brother. We all made Karam sit in front of him and told him that if you really want to marry this girl, then first do some small job and leave these shortcuts, earn halal money. If you start earning some money in the next 6 months, we will get you married. He will also work hard and earn a halal livelihood. I explained to him that he was shy about earning 10 rupees. He promised that now instead of a rupee, earn 5 rupees but earn a halal livelihood. He said that he will do the same. I will work hard and marry Sonia and at the same time I will also look after my house and also arrange dowry for my sisters. Thank God my brother came to his senses in time. He worked hard and got a government job. Even though the job was small, he also got a quarter in return. We got him married to Sonia and she is happy in her home. Finally, I would like to say that only Allah knows the decisions of Allah best. A person should never get involved in such things that will ruin his hereafter.